You'll be able to see the Vikings-Patriots game on TV this weekend. It is a sellout. The Vikings take on a Patriots team steamed after losing 3 of their last 4. The Packers defeated New England Monday night. The final was 28-10. But the Vikings are only concerned about doing what they've been doing as they go for 5 straight wins.
We still haven't played our best game, and that's the thing that's probably in the minds of most of the players. And I think what you're going to get out of us is a team that's really trying to improve every week.
It's Wayzata against Elk River in the boys' state soccer quarterfinals. Wayzata's Star Tribune Metro Player of the Year, David Dulix, brings it down. And this one's a family affair. It will go across the field. His twin brother Dan puts it in right there off the rebound. Wayzata advances to the semis with a 2-0 win. They are short and sweet at Trick or Treat. Here they are, the plays of our lives.
Hello, darling. It's me, Elvira. And these are the plays of our lives.
Thanks, Elvira, and happy Halloween. Trick or treat, here's Irving Fryer's one-handed catch.
As if you were dancing on air.
Refs should wear Halloween masks. Brian Williams takes down Sean Corbin. Anaheim's Teemu Solani scores a Mighty Ducks goal off his head.
You can't be too careful these days.
You won't believe this interception by Michigan's Charles Woodson against Michigan State. Now that's a player.
What fiend uttered that vile canard?
Be sure and tune in again for another episode of The Plays of Our Lives.
The Addams Family and the Munsters on the plays.
Just
Great
some
show.
Classics, huh? All right.
Still going.
Stick around. We're going to wrap things up right after this.
Exclusive. Pictures from an exorcism. And not just any exorcism. The alien exorcism. On the next Strange Universe.
Tonight at 11:05 on UPN 9.
The next vibe is out of control.
That way you can appreciate all the things that make it so great. Like 2 big beef patties, 3 strips of bacon, melting cheese, a ton of barbecue sauce, and a huge steak roll. The Big West Bacon Cheeseburger, only at Hardee's.
Joggers.
Hey, for breakfast, concentrate on Hardee's new breakfast hoagie.
Fox Sports News Prime Time. We are there. For the exciting finish of the Major League season, catch Steve Psycho Lyons and his psychoanalysis.
In fact, I got so excited I just popped the button on my shirt.
Only on Fox Sports News Prime Time. You're watching Fox Sports News tonight on Fox Sports Net.
Welcome back. Charles Barkley is used to going strong to the glass, but his efforts early Sunday morning definitely crossed the line. Barkley is free on $6,000 bond after throwing a man through the plate glass window of a bar. Barkley says the man threw a cup of ice at him and he was merely retaliating. Yeah, great. The victim is considering a civil. Barkley's friend Michael Jordan says Charles should think twice about heading to bars.
My advice to Charles?
He needs to hire some security.
No, he needs to stay his butt home. That's simple.
The Orlando Magic looking to strengthen their backcourt scoring today, swap players with the Golden State Warriors. The Magic acquired Mark Price from Golden State. He's in his 11th year and averaged 11.3 points per game for the Warriors last season. In exchange, Golden State gets guard Brian Shaw and forward David Vaughn. Shaw spent 3 seasons in Orlando, averaged almost 5 assists per game. Vaughn was the team's first-round pick in 1995. Well, the South Alabama men's basketball team finally has a new head coach tonight. Bob Weltlich has been hired to replace Bill Musselman, who stunned the program by resigning 3 weeks ago. Weltlich has 17 years of head coaching experience. He was last at Florida International, where he took the team to the NCAA tournament in 1995, but then stepped down. According to reports in the Houston Chronicle...
Dear Kennedy, when our transmission went out on the family car, we didn't know what to do. We thought about taking it back to the dealership, but then decided that Kennedy Transmission was most affordable and most experienced with transmission repairs. Your people were very friendly and professional. Thank you for all of your help. Sincerely, Sally, Amy, and the family car.
Quality repair from the experts who care.
Hi,
Hi, welcome to Perkins. Have you tried our new Butterball entrees? Come on.
Well, we're talking turkey again. We've created our new turkey tortilla wrap and our new turkey chimichangas. Just like our traditional turkey favorites. They're all made with America's favorite turkey, Butterball. There's always something new cooking at Perkins.
Quite a run for the Gophers last year. Final game of the year, March 29th. Losing to Kentucky. Fantastic season, 31-4, 16-2 in the Big Ten. And remember, they were 16-1. They lost their last Big Ten game. It was a memorable season, and this season will provide its own memories. Perhaps not as everlasting as last year's, but Clem Haskins is counting on his team to get back into postseason play. 2 free throws coming up.
A lot of veteran teams coming back, Dick, in the Big Ten. Purdue with 4 starters back, and you know, off a team that actually had a very good run at the end of the year. This is a veteran Iowa, veteran Indiana team, veteran Michigan team. A lot of great players back in the conference.
Jason Stanford has improved his game quite a bit during the offseason. He comes into the ball game. We talked about Michigan. They're going to have to fight their way through an awful lot of chaos to get going.
Yeah, when you change head coaches a week before the season starts, automatically you've disrupted a lot of what's going on. It should be a solid basketball team, but who knows how they'll perform.
Archambault misses. Traveling in the lane again for Jukovic.
There's that third step again. Yep. This is a first for Clem, too. First time he's had two players on at the same time with Clark and Archambault.
Tattoos that we could see. We don't know.
Yeah. And Clem will let you know that they had them when they showed up here. Right. They did not get them after they came here. You don't think that would have happened, Richard?
Oh, no. I think
Stanford with a nice one-handed catch. Lost the ball on the floor. Archambault.
Nice drive.
Wow. Kevin Clark with a nice drive to the lane.
Little crossover. Started at a left-hand dribble, crossed over to his right hand, got right to the hoop.
I think once you get comfortable with the Gopher offense and the Gopher system, I think we'll be seeing a lot of that this year.
Yeah, you can see his quickness, Richard. He really is quick off the first step.
As unfair as the comparisons might be to Bobby Jackson, we should point out that Bobby Jackson in his first year at Minnesota did play until the middle of December. Right. He had an ankle problem or foot problem, and really never really got going until the Big Ten season started. And it seemed like that through that whole year he was just a little bit behind of where he wanted to be.
Yeah, he didn't get the preseason publicity, and people really didn't discover Bobby Jackson nationally until tournament time. Then they said, whoa, where's this guy been?
Pajovic making a free throw. We'll have a chance to talk with the new women's basketball coach at Minnesota, Cheryl Littlejohn. We'll return it to the Sports Connection studios. Mike Max will give you an update.
Cheryl hired a former Gopher guard as an assistant, Mark Wilson. Yeah. And Mark's been working with the Gopher women's team. He'll do an outstanding job with Cheryl.
They'll all be shooting left-handed by the 1st of January, won't they?
Yep.
So they'll be shooting the right way then.
That's right. You were a lefty too, weren't you?
Right. But it's a good opportunity for Mark.
Less than a minute to play here in the first half.
With all the fouling and the slowdown of the game, fans have not had a chance to get into this game. No transition baskets. It's been kind of really a slow half.
And Nathaniel committing a foul on the reach, trying to pull the ball down. And an awful lot of fouling, too, as sent both teams to the line.
And then Clem is used, you know, interchanged his players. You never get a unit out there long enough to find a sync or a rhythm to the offense, because it is a practice game and you want to give everyone a chance to play and participate.
Boban Pajovic at the line.
Play and participate mean about the same thing?
Yeah.
This game may not be very important, but I tell you, it'll be very helpful to Clem and the coaching staff as far as knowing which player can do what, and who you can depend on in game situations.
These games for the basketball team don't count, but the hockey season is well underway. And MSC will bring you the games Friday night and Saturday night from Madison, Wisconsin. Frank Mazzacco and Tom Reed bringing you Golden Gopher hockey on MSC. Then after the hockey game on Saturday, we'll be bringing you the taped replay of the Golden Gopher football game played earlier that day against Ohio State. It's homecoming this weekend for Minnesota. And maybe they can pull off an upset against the 7th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes.
Going to that game, 3 o'clock start?
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Going to severely crimp my opening day deer hunting, but I'm looking forward to it too. Slapped out of bounds and a foul.
If you're not opposed to shooting off my deck, I can get you one the first thing in the morning.
There is McKinley Boston. And he, like everybody else involved with the University of Minnesota, very much looking forward to this season. Not so much because there are high hopes for this year, but I think it's just there was so much excitement, particularly in March, that the excitement is carried over, and well, it's unfair, I suppose, to the Kevin Clarks of the world to come in and have so much expectation. There's so many expectations surrounding this year's team. They're still trying to get their feet wet and get to know each other right now.
Yeah, and I think the general sports fan and the state deck are so weary of stadium talk and this kind of talk that it's almost like, let's get on with the game.
Right.
And so the Timberwolves are into their season, and there's a lot of excitement for the Golden Gopher season.
And there's our first 5-second closely guarded violation of the year.
The coach is looking around. He doesn't understand this rule. He's asking, what is this? He doesn't.
Last year I came over here and we didn't have this rule.
Yeah, it is. It's a new rule. It's not an international rule, and he's perplexed. He doesn't know why they turned the ball over.
And he'll have to wait another 2 seconds to get an explanation. Slapped out of bounds at the end of the half. Minnesota opening up an 11-point lead at halftime. It's 37-26 after 2 quarters of play. We'll come back to Williams Arena and meet the new women's basketball coach at Minnesota, Cheryl Littlejohn, in just a moment.
The sensation of the speed the first time that anybody does this can take your breath.
The King, Richard Petty, on the Richard Petty Driving Experience.
First time out, you better let off right past the start-finish line and get that thing aimed to get in the corner, because most people have never experienced the transition of going from a flat surface into a bank.
It's motorsports competition with you at the wheel. The Richard Petty Driving Experience. For more information, call 1-800-BE-PETTY.
It's enough to take your breath away.
Tires Plus, like no other tire store.
When it comes to 4x4s, Jeep Cherokee has always been the easy choice. After all, with the most four-wheel drive choices in its class, plus 190 horsepower, Jeep Cherokee really is the only choice. But we have to warn you, once you choose Cherokee, you'll have more choices than ever before. Lease a 98 Cherokee for $259 a month and get all this at no extra charge. Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
Minnesota leading 37-26, and it's our pleasure here at halftime to introduce to you, for those of you who have not met, Cheryl Littlejohn, the new women's basketball coach here at Minnesota. And Cheryl, it was a little over 7 months ago, I guess, that you were announced as the new women's coach here at Minnesota. Now you've had some practices under your belt. What are your impressions of your team this year?
Well, so far I'm pleased with the effort and the hard work. Right now we got to stop making a lot of mental mistakes that we used to making last year. Last year we averaged giving up 24 turnovers a game and 84 points a game. So right now we're just concentrating on being a better defensive team and taking care of the ball.
I was interested in talking with Glenn Mason, the football coach, who, of course, who is new to Minnesota as well. And let's hope it's this noisy over at the pavilion for you. But he has said that he did not spend a whole lot of time looking at film, trying to get to his new, to get to know his new players, because he didn't want to make any first impressions on film. How have you handled that? How have you gotten to know your players?
Actually, just off the court, but I definitely did, and my whole entire staff watched a lot of film from last year. I want to know exactly what I was coming into. But I've been pleased so far. Everybody's working hard. We got a lot of freshmen that's going to come in and do a good job for us. So we did watch a lot of film, but like I said, in the last couple of weeks we've been practicing, we have reverted back to a lot of mental errors, but we're doing better as a team right now.
You talked about some of the younger players that you're going to have to use or will use, but you got Angie Iverson back this year. That's got to make any first-year coach happy.
Definitely. I was pleased to have her back. She's working tremendously hard, and I think that she's going to step up her leadership this year.
Leading the nation in rebounding last year, and tell us a little bit about where she is in her game, where she has improved from a year ago.
I think overall as a team player, the most important thing for us, she led the country last year in rebounding, but I think that she's going to have to step up her scoring this year. Overall as a team, we're going to have to do better as a rebounding team, but Angie's done a tremendous job, and I can't ask any more of her. But probably she can improve better on her defense.
Wins have been very few and far between in Minnesota in the women's program for the last couple of years. Have you put a number on the number of games you'd like to win this year?
I haven't. I think just realistically looking at the season, my projection is to be a better team than we were last year. If we take care of the little things and go back to the basics, we're going to come out on top, doing a lot better.
What do you know about your team now that you didn't know when you took the job?
Probably that they had a lot of heart, and they worked tremendously hard. I'm pleased with the overall effort, but we got to start working smart. I want all of our hard work not to be in vain. So right now, we're just coming together as a team. Everybody's working really hard. I got a great staff. We're just excited about next Tuesday.
Cheryl, congratulations on getting the job. Welcome again to Minnesota. And they have an exhibition game next door here. Next, is it next week? Next
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday against a Russian team?
Yes, it is.
Well, we're having enough time with the Yugoslavian names. I don't know if we want to try the Russian names, but that's Tuesday, November 15th. That doesn't sound right. I think November 15th is actually on a Saturday, isn't it? But it is next Tuesday.
Yeah, next Tuesday is our first exhibition game, but next Saturday, the 15th, is our first opener against Wisconsin Green Bay.
Good luck, Cheryl.
Thank you.
All right. We'll come back with more from Williams Arena. Actually, after this break, we're going to get a Sports Connection update from Mike Maggs.
Just when you think you know where the new Dodge is headed, they turn things around on you. Introducing Durango, a whole new kind of roomy, powerful, versatile sport utility. As you can see, the new Dodge is covering new ground, some of which seems to be covering me. Durango, new ground for the new Dodge.
Got milk?
Don't let crime
take the air out of you. General Security Services Corporation, a tradition of safety and security excellence since 1946. Imagine a goalie without the proper protection. Protect yourself. General Security Services Corporation, a tradition of safety and security excellence since 1946.
Hi, welcome to Perkins. Have you tried our new butterball entrees? Come on.
Well, we're talking turkey again. We've created our new turkey tortilla wrap and our new turkey chimichangas. Just like our traditional turkey favorites. They're all made with America's favorite turkey, butterball. There's always something new cooking at Perkins.
It's another border battle as the Gophers face the Badgers Friday night at 7:30 on MSC, your Gopher Hockey Connection.
Jared Ward finds Robert Patrick Fowler for the emphatic slam. Shatters the backboard. We need to see that again.
Welcome to a world-class university.
Mike Max with you in our Sports Connection studios for an intermission report and the latest on the Twin Stadium saga, which continue today with another plan aimed at keeping the ball club in Minnesota. Here's the deal in a nutshell. Owner Carl Pohlad would donate the team to charity, similar to the way Royals owner Ewing Kauffman gave his team away several years ago. Then a new $250 million open-air ballpark would be built using player taxes from in-stadium sales. Lawmakers will vote on the plan in 1 week, but Twin City business leaders are already giving it their stamp of approval.
Large companies, medium-sized companies, small companies, we're all on the same page. The business community will be there to make this happen. They're there for the University of Minnesota, they're there for the Guthrie, for the orchestra, they're there for United Way, they're there for every venture there is, and we will be here this time.
If you're confused about all the Twin Stadium debate, turn to MSC to make sense of it all. Kirby Puckett will join other dignitaries for Keep the Twins in Minnesota. Our special show comes your way Tuesday, November 11th, following Timberwolves basketball. Now for the Vikings Stadium saga. Roger Hedrick and company are eagerly awaiting their piece of the pie, particularly if some of the financing for the stadium is provided by Vikings player income taxes, as it is earmarked. The ultimate hope for the team is that this proposal will turn into a dual-purpose stadium. Why not the dome? Not enough revenue streams to keep up competitively with the rest of the league. Hedrick needs to meet with Governor Arne Carlson soon. Sources on the inside tell me it should happen next week. Sources also tell me Cleveland is ready and willing to take on a team. That's it for now. When we come back out to Williams Arena, Dick Bramer and Jim Dutcher will take you the rest of the way. We're back here tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. We'll see you then. Enjoy the second half, everybody.
Harris has it go through, and here's another free ride for Djokovic. No, Clark steals it away from him. And takes it home the other way.
4-point turnaround. He steals the ball on a breakaway, comes back and scores his own.
That's what this team needs from him. Bobby Jackson's gone, and Bobby Jackson was that type of player, and I think Kevin's going to step up and fill those shoes. It's going to be tough for him, but I think he has the ability to do it.
He looked quick on that play.
Now, if Kevin Clark can get every loose ball on the floor, then we can compare him to Bobby Jackson.
That's what somebody said. I was talking about Gopher basketball, and I said, Bobby Jackson's a unique player. You see Kevin Clark make a nice play here and convert it all the way back to the other end. But the Bobby Jackson players come along once in a while. The guy that can make the key steal, get the key rebound, score the winning basket. And I think over his year and a half, Dick, there are probably 8 to 9 games that he won it for him at the end. Maybe he didn't score the basket, but he led to the winning basket.
Dusty Reichert from Grand Rapids, Minnesota into the ballgame. And now Jacobson picks up a foul.
I guarantee you that Dusty's first 6 years were spent on skates.
From Grand Rapids.
Yeah, coming from Grand Rapids.
Let's see Sam committing the foul. So again, there are 3 Minnesota players on the floor. Reichert, who doesn't expect to see a whole lot of time this year. Sandin and Jacobson.
Clem used 11 players the first half, and again, it's a practice game, and the purpose of practice is to get a look at all your players.
.650 left in the third quarter. Harris got some butterfingers here in the second half. It's a second ball that he's had slip through his fingertips.
Yeah, he's having a little trouble holding on to it right now.
The player who's going to miss Bobby Jackson the most is Eric Harris.
That's right. It certainly is.
Because guards are played in tandem of guards.
Sandin picks up a foul on the lane.
Eric and Bobby really had a nice combination and a nice chemistry going between those two guys.
Yeah, they really did. It takes time to get to know someone as a teammate. You don't do it in 2 weeks practice that the Gophers have had. It takes longer than that. You remember, Dick, 2 years ago you couldn't start practice till November 1.
That's right.
They tried that one-year experiment.
Well, the Midnight Madness was on Halloween night.
Right.
About 6.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Minnesota leading by 13.
Clem likes this move. Get Sandin inside and let him work.
And now they get Sandin for a hook.
He got called on a hook. He got called on a hook on that play, but I tell you what, that was a nice move, and I think he's going to help him a lot this year down low.
Yeah, he did hook him.
He has nice size to him, and that was a nice move for him.
Yeah, left-handed, back over his head. Nice shot.
Three-pointer. Rebounded in the lane. 2-point try over Sandin dropped.
Nice soft touch.
The basket goes to Vucisic.
Vucisic is 31 years old, so he's had a lot of time to work on that shot.
Gophers spread the floor a little bit, and a foul in the corner. Or did Clark step out of bounds? Apparently he turned the ball over. 5:37 left in the third quarter, and we have a timeout. Minnesota 45, the Yugoslavia Mornar team 34.
Take strokes off your game, guaranteed. Jack Nicklaus's personal technique that helps straighten slices. Take strokes off your game,
guaranteed. Dave Peltz's revolutionary technique that has top pros putting better. Let Golf Magazine show you how to shoot lower, play better, or you don't pay. That's the Golf Magazine guarantee. Call now for your free issue of Golf Magazine. If you decide to subscribe, get 11 more issues, 12 in all, for just $17.97. Plus, get your free Golf Magazine umbrella. Call now.
So, what you got for me today? Not bad. Look.
What's behind the biggest truck event of the year? One Tough Truck. Right now, during the One Tough Truck event, Chevy Blazer comes with financing as low as 4.9 APR. And now, your Chevy dealers also have their biggest selection of Tahoes and Suburbans ever. And that means big savings. You want the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks? You ought to get behind a Chevy during the One Tough Truck event. Your Chevy is ready. Get it at your Heartland Chevrolet dealers.
An 11-point Minnesota lead with Richard Coffey, Jim Dutcher, and Dick Bramer at Williams Arena. Glad you're with us. Glad that we finally can get this basketball season underway. The guy on the right, 33-year-old Gojko Jakovic. And the guy on the left is just 16 years old. His name is Vanja Bujic.
He babysits for the older players. But they do try to develop a couple young players each year for the. And Yugoslavia on an international basis is one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the world.
Foxy and Lewis went up to contest the shot, and now Harris back the other way scores it for Minnesota.
Normally you'd shoot that shot left-handed, but Eric got up in the air and had no choice but to muscle it up right-handed.
That might have been the first fast break of the game.
It was. First transition basket for the Gophers.
Richard, you talked about it earlier, but it is noticeable, and I think probably at home, too. Quincy Lewis, who came to Minnesota with rather spindly arms and legs, has really beefed up during the offseason. I mean, he's got some definition there in those arms.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time in the weight room this summer.
A little bit of a push there, too. With the added muscle comes added strength and a little extra leverage in the lane.
That's true. But I like him down there. I like him down there getting rebounds. He's going to be responsible for a lot of rebounds this year. And I'm glad to see that he's down there, at least making an effort trying to get some.
Big Ten's going to have, I think, probably the best big players they've had in a while, with Brad Miller at Purdue and Tractor Trailer at Michigan and Jason Collier at Indiana. There's some definitely good big players in the conference.
Jess Settles is back with Iowa.
Yes,
It'll be interesting to see where the Hawkeyes play him. Toward the end of his junior year, 2 years ago, they played him more on the perimeter because his back was giving him some problems. And he got a medical redshirt year last year because of back problems. And I guess hip problems as well. Here's Archambault into the ballgame, replacing Harris.
And I didn't mention Calvin Booth at Penn State, right. Another 7-footer who's in maybe the best of them all, ranking at Northwestern. So there are some great inside players, maybe the best I can remember in recent years in the conference.
It's a tough year not to have a lot of good inside players.
Yeah, that's right.
It's going to be a challenging season for the Gophers this year.
And they just clearly dominated the league last year inside. I mean, overall as a team, of course, they had a great year, but there wasn't a team that could muscle up like Minnesota could last year, bringing Trevor Winter off the bench, a 7-footer who was very strong physically. And now you go from that to this year where, I mean, I can't imagine a team having to change its focus more completely than Minnesota will have to this year.
Yeah, they've gone from, like you mentioned, a team that could bang with anyone, not worry about the fouls because they had great depth. Now they got to be careful about fouling and just don't have the physical presence. Nice out of bounds play by Archambault, and he buries it for 3.
Archambault's first points.
That's the shot they normally set up Sam Jacobson for on the out of bounds play. That time they hit Russ.
Tipped by Lewis to Archambault, and the Gophers will try to break a good pass to Lewis. He tried to get it to Broxy, and it was rejected. It goes out of bounds to Minnesota.
Quincy and Sam have so much responsibility offensively this year. I mean, if one of those guys play bad, it's going to be a tough night for Minnesota. If one of those guys get in foul trouble, it's going to be a tough night for Minnesota. Those two guys really need to be on the court most of the game for Minnesota.
Jacobson off the screen, scores. Another 3 for Sam.
This is the best stretch that the Gophers have had offensively. The 3-pointer by Archambault, another jump shot by Sam Jacobson, a transition basket by Harris. They're starting to put some things together on the offensive end.
And Clark scores.
Well, if you notice, there haven't been any fouls called lately, so we can get into a flow a little bit.
Now a timeout called by the Yugoslavian team. 2:42 left in the third quarter. Minnesota now leading by 21 points. You see Kevin Clark, a lot has been made about Kyle Sandin's physical condition. 3 concussions last year during his redshirt year, and now I don't want to say it's a heart problem because apparently it's more brain related, but he has fainting spells, and that's something the Gophers are going to have to contend with. But Kevin Clark has an interesting medical history as well. Kevin Clark did not play his senior year in high school because of problems with fatigue and dehydration, and then in his first year in junior college ball he had angioplasty. As a 19-year-old young man, he had angioplasty, so Sandin has some health concerns that the Gophers are not concerned about. In other words, they think with Sandin they have the proper medication now, and he'll be able to, although he may have a fainting spell from time to time, it's not as much of a concern now that they know what the problem is. Big block by Antoine Broxy. And off the glass at the other end.
Arched it up over the defense and banked it in. Both those medical problems, they're problems that the Gophers feel they can keep under control. And Roger Shipper's been taking money under false pretenses for a lot of time, so let that Gopher trainer get busy.
But as a trainer, you're used to dealing with, so you got to tape the ankles, and you got to watch out for knee problems and all that sort of thing. But a different set of problems health-wise for the Gophers this year, and we've got a timeout with 2:11 left in the third quarter.
Now you can make the Wild Kingdom your kingdom. Now get 4.8% financing or a $359 a month lease on a 98 Grand Cherokee at your Jeep dealer.
Here, happiness isn't taken for granted. Work and play don't argue. And I can always find you if I need you. Here, a handshake still beats an email. And wires aren't something that people connect, but something that connects people. Here, you've got a life, and we've got a job to do. Life's better here. U.S. West.
I'd prefer them up.
Down.
Up.
Down.
Up.
Down.
Up.
All right. Let's go.
Down.
with Richard Coffey and Jim Dutcher. Dick Bramer at Williams Arena, where the Gophers lead the Yugoslavian touring team by 23. Professional basketball coming your way on MSC Tuesday night. The Spurs playing at the Target Center against the Timberwolves. 7 o'clock on MSC. Chad Hartman and Trent Tucker.
Get a chance to see the #1 draft choice, Tim Duncan.
Yeah. 2 minutes left in this third quarter.
Yugoslavia's just hanging in that zone and biting the outside shot, and the Gophers have hit a few of them this half.
So the Gophers will get a fresh 40 seconds after the kick. And we're playing 5 seconds short on the shot clock with the experimental rules. Lewis for 3. And the Gophers are starting to warm up from the outside.
Nice rhythm on that shot by Quincy.
Oh,
nice play.
Broxy outreaches his man for the rebound. Nice play, though, by the Yugoslavian team.
Richard, you said Broxy had long arms. He really does have a wingspan.
He has his shot blocked. Tarver got half the ball and threw the man with the other half on the turf, on the deck here. That was Djokovic, who got shaken to the floor by Tarver.
That was a nice block right there. You see Miles going up for the rebound and fighting for it, and tosses a Yugoslavia player to the ground.
Kevin Nathaniel in the game for Minnesota, and he forced a turnover by reaching in and grabbing some of the ball and maybe some of Gojko Djokovic.
Little double team right at midcourt by Clark and Tarver caused the turnover.
There's Kevin Nathaniel, number 13, obviously not superstitious.
Russ Archambault running the point in their zone attack.
Tipped by Broxy, still no good. .35 seconds left in the third quarter. Offensive foul. Tarver stood his ground, playing with 3 fouls.
He probably got fouled on the drive. You'll see he gets reached and grabbed right there. Miles Tarver, nice job of taking the charge, but the foul probably had occurred a dribble earlier.
Banja Bucic committing his third foul. I haven't heard either one of you guys attempt any of these names yet tonight.
Didn't you hear my keys to the game? I slid those in there.
Archambault misses. Broxy tips no good. Nathaniel finds some shooting room underneath.
In the introductions, when the Yugoslavian players were announced by Dick Jankowski, they'd look at each other and they'd say, "Who, me?" And said, "Yeah, that's you." And then they'd run out.
There's Dick Jankowski. 64-36, our score after 3 quarters. This building is a little bit different than it was last year. They have added what they call barn lofts. And we saw the sketches of these last year, and it was hard to imagine what they were going to look like, but they are the upper level of seats that you see there right underneath the banners. Those are a brand new, if you will, private suite section here at Williams Arena. And I really like them. I didn't know how well they were going to, or what they were going to look like from the outside and what the view would be up there, but it looks like those are pretty good seats up there.
They really worked them well into the design of the building. In fact, I didn't even realize they were there until you called my attention to it, and I looked up and there they were. But architecturally, they're nice. I haven't been up to see what the sight lines are, but I guess they'd be pretty good.
What about Monday night? The 3 of us in the second half go up and do the game from one of the barn lofts.
I would like that. I've never been that high up before. Not doing a game situation anyway.
Yeah, no. I don't know what they added, Dick, in terms of capacity, but they do have, I would guess, excellent sight lines.
7 o'clock, the Venezuelan touring team will come here. Rafael Herrera will bring his team in here on Monday night, and we'll have the game on MSC. Now, I got to ask about this when they get here next Monday. The coach's name is Rafael Herrera. There is an Eric Herrera and a Manuel Herrera on the team. I think we have a little nepotism going on this Venezuelan team. Jacobson misses the 3, and Archambault is called for reaching over the back.
That's the zone shot, though. Quincy hit a couple. Sam's attempted one, made one. That you have to make that shot if a team's going to zone you. And Minnesota coaching staff knows that, and they've encouraged their club to put them up there.
Not that this year's Gopher team will be one-dimensional, with Sam Jacobson taking a lot of the jump shots from the outside, but it won't bring to the floor as many dimensions as they had last year, because they don't have the power inside that they had with Courtney James and John Thomas and Trevor Winter. It's going to be interesting to see how Sam handles the increased defensive attention he's going to get this year.
Well, when you draw that #1 defender, it's you know, it makes your job a lot tougher, but Sam's equipped to handle that. He had great international experience this summer, played for Rick Majerus on the national team. So this is Sam's year. He knows it, but he also has to play within the confines of the team concept.
I think also what we'll see to take some of that pressure off of Sam is Quincy posting up and scoring some buckets on the inside. And I think with Quincy scoring buckets on the inside, that may take a little pressure off of Sam.
Again, with those long arms, Broxy got the rebound, but he couldn't hold the ball. Now Archambault gets the loose ball. Tried to zip it in to Tarver on a bounce pass, but the ball was kicked. And Minnesota will get the basketball on the near sideline.
That taken a great pass to get through there. He tried to thread it to 2 defenders, couldn't do it, but the ball was kicked.
The last 3 or 4 offensive series, Broxy's been doing a good job of getting his hand on the ball, just can't hold on to it.
He does have some spring.
Archambault knocks down his second 3.
Here's John.
His second 3-point basket of the game. Tarver with a big block in the lane.
Great timing. Nice. Nice.
Quincy Lewis. It was indeed very nice.
Quincy Lewis knew that Miles had made the great defensive play at the other end. He was going to reward him for running the floor, so he just waited for him and gave him a great scoring pass.
That's what I liked about that play. Quincy realized that, and he rewarded him with a bucket.
Broxy with a steal at midcourt. One-handed by Jacobson. It's good. He'll go to the line.
Couple things are happening. The Gophers, you know, much more comfortable offensively, but the Yugoslavian team is clearly tired. They played last night in Madison, and they're really dragging now. Here's the block. Nice right-handed block by Miles Tarver. Runs the floor. Quincy Lewis finds him with a nice scoring pass.
Antoine Broxy checks out. There's Miles Tarver into the game for the first time. Rob Schoenrock, who last year was a team manager for the Gophers. Now he's playing. Jacobson gets a 3-point play. Tipped out of bounds by Quincy Lewis. Schoenrock, a transfer from Hibbing Community College.
We might have a Scottie Pippen story on our hand here. I think he was a team manager for his college team before he became a player, and now look where he is.
I don't think Jerry Krause is going to call this guy.
Well, these are games, too, where Lewis fires up a 3 and hits it. A feed to the corner from Jacobson.
Dick, I'll never forget Quincy's first Big Ten road game at Iowa City as a freshman. scores 27 and keeps the Gophers in that game in Iowa City. And I said then, well, this guy's going to be a player.
Royko Karapid committing the turnover. Carver comes out. Sandin back in.
Yeah, Quincy really have a great body for basketball, and I walked up to him probably midway through the summer, and he was about 2 inches taller than I am. It looked like he did a lot of growing over the summer. I've been in the weight room bulking up, and I'm sure Coach Haskins hope he have a great year. Looking for a lot of things out of Quincy this year.
The other thing I enjoy about him, Richard, is he loves playing the game. Certain guys, it looks like they make a lot of work out of it. Quincy enjoys himself out there.
Archambault with his third three-pointer of the second half. We got to get Clem to get Dusty Reichert into the game to replace Quincy Lewis. We'd have 5 Minnesota natives on the floor, and I would venture to say that's never happened at the University of Minnesota, to have 5 Minnesota players, at least not in the modern era.
I guarantee you it won't happen in a Big Ten game.
There's Dusty. He got in the first half. Jacobson's still in the game. He'll shoot a 1-and-1 here.
If it don't happen tonight or Monday, it might not happen.
You may not see it.
Jacobson with 18 points. Lewis with 18 points.
Russ Archambault's had a good second half. He's stroked his jump shot with confidence. He's run the point under zone offense. Russ has looked good this second half.
Jacobson has his 20, and he'll come out of the game. Kevin Nathaniel will come in. The problem with Jacobson's left knee, Clem Haskins told me earlier in the week, calls it jumper's knee, which when you can jump like Sam, it sounds like a serious problem, but it's just something he's going to have to deal with this year.
Kevin McHale had that for his last 2 years. He had to ice his knees out. It's kind of like a tendonitis, where those tendons get a little sore, and he had to ice his knees down before practice and after practice every single night.
Go back to our trivia question. Richard, you said
Bobby Jackson.
Bobby Jackson.
I said Sam Jacobson.
And I said Quincy Lewis.
And we're all wrong.
Probably all 3 of us will be wrong on our Toyota trivia question. The game's in Kansas City. Minnesota's top scorer.
Well, tune in against Venezuela. The answer.
Charles Thomas. Wow. You never would have gotten that. I was the closest, I think. I said a bench player. They get any credit for that, Richard?
I don't think so.
All right.
I don't think so.
80-39. Daniel went up to catch it, never did come down with possession of the ball.
That was a tough pass to handle.
And be a thrill for Rob Schoenrock. He's going to go to the free throw line. Schoenrock from Hinckley, Minnesota.
Gophers got a chance to get 100 in this game, and at halftime it sure didn't look that way, you know, the way they're struggling. But the offense has opened up. The Yugoslavian team's gotten a little fatigued, and all at once it's a big margin.
The second half has been a much more exciting half for the Gopher fans, I tell you that.
They got a 4-on-1 right here.
Nathaniel with a good feed. Archambault misses the cripple. Lewis misses. And it goes out of bounds to Yugoslavia. 2 close-in tries. And he'll smile about that tonight, but there will be a time later in the year when the missed close-in shots won't draw that reaction.
No, I don't think so.
He's smiling about it tonight, but I guarantee you he'll hear about it tomorrow in film and during the film session.
Archambault, can he hit 4 of them? Yeah. 4 threes in the second half for Archambault.
He needs to stay from out of the paint and keep shooting jump shots.
Yeah. That makes that zone defense a lot tougher to play when you got somebody step up and make some threes.
Now a foul called on Nathaniel. Richard, we talked about Nathaniel. Now he spent 3 years with the Air Force, and now as a freshman in Minnesota at the age of 20. Refresh us as to how you came to come to Minnesota after how many years were you with the Army, in the Army?
Spent 3 years in the Army as well.
3 years in the Army, okay.
Well, actually, Clem sent a scout down to watch another player. Clem was still at Western Kentucky at the time. They sent a scout down to look at another player, and that one night that he was there, I think I had 23 rebounds, and in the process, Clem transferred over here to Minnesota, and I got a call from him asking me, did I want to come? I said, yes, came out for a visit. My first visit, only college visit, and signed a scholarship to come to Minnesota. And at that time, I just wanted to get out of the military. For me, after 3 years in the military, I was ready for something else.
Well, it worked out well for both of you, for Minnesota and for you.
Now, how many times did you jump out of an airplane as a paratrooper?
I had 46 jumps.
46 jumps. And they all obviously went pretty smoothly.
Obviously.
He was 6'9" when he started jumping.
Well, you're back in the Twin Cities after playing overseas. What's keeping you busy these days?
Well, right now I'm working for a company called Liberty Check Printers. It's a great company over in Roseville, Minnesota. And I've been with them for about 2 months now, and everything's going great with them.
Schoenrock.
Do I get to talk about my firm?
No, sure.
No, I won't.
Schoenrock kept the ball alive, and he'll go back to the free throw line.
Do you still play recreationally?
Try to.
Did you play in the summer league?
Yeah, I did. I played in the summer league. My team won the summer league this summer.
Oh, well, good. Congratulations.
I was a player coach.
Any of the Gophers on the team? Any of the current Gophers?
Well, we had a lot of ex-Gophers on the team.
Okay.
We didn't have any current Gophers on the team.
Okay.
Schoenrock with a miss. Still looking for that first point. Well, I'm looking forward to this year because I got the easiest job in the world. I'm just going to sit back and let you guys talk basketball. I got a coach. I got a former Gopher player here, so we'll let you guys carry the show this year. 5:35 left in the game. Minnesota in control here at the barn.
Hi, Chuck. How's business?
Okay.
Hey, what's on your screen?
QuickBooks accounting software from the makers of Quicken.
Yeah, I really don't have time to learn new software.
If you can write a check, you can use QuickBooks. Answer a few questions and it tailors itself to your business. Create invoices like these. It has accounts payable, accounts receivable, payroll and inventory, and over 60 customizable reports that put you in control.
I'm going to try it.
Nothing to lose.
1-800-216-5511.
Cenex Land O'Lakes works hard to deliver top quality feeds to farmers and ranchers. But just as important are consultants working side by side those producers to help their livestock operations succeed. When farms, ranches, and rural businesses thrive, so do our rural communities.
You and me and Cenex Land O'Lakes are partners we can trust. That's right.
Tonight on WCCO 4 News at 10. Dimension goes behind the kitchen door of some hometown eateries to check out how they score with health inspectors. In the mood for Chinese, Italian, or an elegant night out? Well, before you make reservations, make sure you don't have some reservations of your own. We'll tell you which restaurants did the best and worst after a visit by the city health inspector. Before you even think about dining out, watch Dimension and go behind the kitchen door. Tonight at 10 on WCCO 4 News.
84-40, Minnesota leading Yugoslavia, and you just handed me a little note here about a big event coming up tomorrow night.
Yeah, 12 people being inducted into University of Minnesota Sports Hall of Fame. 2 basketballers, Dick Garmaker, who is a great player here, and then Ozzie Cowles, who coached at Minnesota for a number of years.
5.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. If you've just joined us, Minnesota, after a sluggish start, has opened up a large lead. We're playing by experimental rules. 4 10-minute periods. 3-point basket. Zoran Vujicic. And if my father were here, he'd say Gesundheit.
Daryl Thompson also going in, Dick, tomorrow.
Sure,
running back.
Yeah, Wendell Anderson is going in.
Anderson, Sid Hartman.
That was a pretty impressive list until you got
too far down the list.
Yeah.
No, it's always a great banquet. The honor of people who have made significant contributions to the University of Minnesota athletic program.
Someday, Richard.
Maybe.
And Jim.
Maybe.
4.5 minutes left. Schoenrock will get another try here from the free throw line. He has 1 point. Richard, I asked you before, the foreign countries that you played against in exhibition games, you don't remember any of them. What happened to the mid-court exchange of gifts? What happened to all those gifts you had? Did you have a garage sale or something, or what?
I think mine stayed in the locker room. Maybe the student trainers took them home with them. I don't have one of them today.
Fouling out with 19 points, Gojko Djokovic. Schoenrock will get 2 free throws. Schoenrock basketball at Hinckley Finlayson High School. 6'8", 225. Jason Stanford got the rebound and a mid-air collision with Vanya Bujic.
Jason playing the Big Ten All-Star team this summer, Dick.
Yeah.
Was he the Minnesota representative? Played overseas.
One of 2 Minnesota twins. Jermaine, his twin brother, also on the team. Jason is taken a step or 2 ahead of his twin brother on the basketball floor. Richard, you
Jason really improved over the summer this summer. He worked really hard, and I think Coach Axel had noticed that, and I think he might get some playing time this year. He might not get a lot of playing time, but I think he'll be in there with some key moments of the Gopher games this year.
And those are the guys that are valuable at practice. They make your starters and your top reserves really work every night at practice and improves their game.
That was an important part of last year's team, too. The games were physical, but the Minnesota practices were so physical, with Thomas and Witter going at a one-on-one. Courtney James. They did get better as the season wore along because of all the good practices they had over the course of the year.
Boy, that's valuable, too.
Your first 5 can't improve unless you have a good second 5.
That's right. Sandin with the rebound.
They're playing Archambault man-to-man right now, and the other 4 are playing zones. Russ never thought he'd be the guy on the box and 1.
3:23 left. Minnesota leading by 41.
Whoops. Number 10 is playing man-to-man in Archambault. The other 4 Yugoslavian players are zoning the inside.
Nice feed inside, and Nathaniel turns it into 2 points.
I could have said Dusan Rakovic, but I thought number 10 would suffice for right now.
Monday night, you're going to give it a shot, right, with the Venezuelan team? All right.
I had high school Spanish, though.
That, however, was a few years ago.
Yeah. Oh, you're cold. You're really cold.
I know Wisconsin held these guys under 48 points, and I'm sure Clem wanted to hold them, but I don't think it's going to happen. Now with 3 minutes to go still, and they have 48 now.
Sandin is a left-handed shooter, and he goes up with a left-handed hook. It comes out, and a jump ball is called. Sandin with 2 points and 4 fouls, and a timeout here on the floor with 2:21 left in this exhibition between Minnesota and Yugoslavia.
Dodge Dakota owners are celebrating A recent J.D. Power & Associates study ranked Dakota most appealing compact pickup. But we believe this lease is pretty appealing too. How do you add lots more muscle without breaking a sweat? Get a Magnum V6 at no extra charge when you buy a Dodge Dakota. So come, bulk up at the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Tires Plus, like no other tire store.
Minnesota by 40 late in the fourth quarter. Quincy Lewis is our Reliance Star player of the game with 19 points, 7 rebounds, a good night from the field, and a couple of three-pointers.
Here's one of his inside moves, spins around, takes a power baseline drive, and scores.
So Quincy Lewis is our Reliance Star player of the game, and his night's work is probably done for the night.
This isn't good for international relations to press them when you're 40 ahead with 2 minutes to go.
There's not a starter on the floor, for whatever that's worth. Well, it was, what, a couple years ago? It happened in State College, Pennsylvania, and Bruce Parkhill got so frustrated he quit.
This is a 1-2-2 zone also. We're seeing the first zone by Minnesota. Clem just wants the clock to run here. He knows this is over. And so come back in his zone, let the Yugoslavians take their jumper.
And I don't think anyone is going to get their nose out of joint about this.
Right.
You're trying to get players involved in different parts of your offense and your defense. Sandin from the outside.
No, you're not going to have to go back and play him in Sarajevo. So, you know, what do you care?
This isn't a home and home?
No, this is not a home and home.
No, I think everything's been accomplished tonight. We win by 40 and nobody's hurt.
Yeah, and everybody got a chance to get in there and play a few minutes.
Exactly.
1:15 left. And from the Yugoslavia Mornar team, they'll get another paycheck and continue to head west. What are they going to get out of a game like this, Jim?
I don't know what when I was playing, the guarantees were in the 10 to 20,000 range. They've gone up considerably since then. Minnesota's got the game on their season ticket package, so you know it's a pretty good payday for Minnesota.
40 seconds left. Sandin misses everything with the left hand this time. And it was out of bounds to Yugoslavia.
Kyle was so open, he just aired it.
And Richard, a few moments ago, you said they weren't going to be able to hold them to 48 points, and they're still stuck on 48.
Still there. Let's see what happens this last play down, maybe.
We're going to get it at the free throw line.
Working on their last second shot offense here.
Delay game. We're in the delay game.
Did I speak too soon about the 48?
Aired it.
Nathaniel got the rebound. And he sprints up the floor. And the follow-up jam is no good by Stanford. And it finishes 90 to 48. So Minnesota got to play everybody in tonight's game. And And Clem Hasson's got to use his different combinations that he was looking to use. Some combinations worked, some didn't, but that's the point of these games.
And as Richard pointed out, they came out physically okay, no sprained ankles, anything, and go back, practice hard tomorrow. This isn't the time of year where you take a night off. You know, you go right back at it hard tomorrow with practice.
We'll come back with more from Williams Arena in just a moment.